viewers, today we are going to read an exhilarating book. This is a dynamic book where we get to learn about several types of values. The name of the book is 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. So now this book is written by M.A. Morin. Let's start with it without any further delay. So content, dedication, interaction, what is mental strength? Chapter 1, they don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. Chapter 2, they don't give away their power. They don't shy away from change. They don't focus on things they can't control. They don't worry about pleasing everyone. They don't fear taking calculated risks. They don't dwell on the past. They don't make the same mistake over and over. They don't resent over other people's success. They don't give up after the first failure. They don't fear alone time. They don't feel the world owes them anything. They don't expect immediate result. Maintaining your mental strength. Now let's start with the introduction of this book. So I actually downloaded the PDF from Google. Okay. When I was 23, my mother died suddenly from a brain aneurysm. No wait. Aneurysm. Aneurysm. What's it? Let's search. Because I'm gonna search each and everything. What is this?
And
Also known as aneurysmal dilation. Maybe it is the heart related disease. Okay. She had always been a healthy, hardworking, vibrant woman who had loved life right up until her last minute on earth. In fact, I saw her the night before she died. We met and we met at an auditorium to watch a high school basketball tournament. She was laughing, talking, and enjoying life like she always did. But just 24 hours later, she was gone. The loss of my mother affected me deeply. I couldn't imagine going through the rest of my life without her advice, laughter, or love. At the time, I was working as a therapist at a community mental health center, and I took a few weeks off to privately deal with my grief. I knew I couldn't be effective at helping other people unless I was able to productively deal with my own feelings. Becoming used to a life that no longer included my mother was a process. It wasn't easy, but I worked hard to get myself back on my feet. From my training as a therapist, I knew that time doesn't heal anything. It's how we deal with that time that determines the speed at which we heal. I understood that grief was a necessary process that would eventually alleviate my pain. Alleviate, I think, this, right? What's alleviate? Let me search it. Deficiency of problem. Okay. So I allowed myself to feel sad, to get angry, and to fully accept what I truly lost my mother passed away. Lost when my mother passed away. It wasn't just that I missed her. It was also the painful realization that she would never be there again during the important events in my life, and that she would never experience the things she had looked forward to, like retire from her job and become a grandmother with supportive friends and families, and my faith in God. I found a sense of peace as life went on. I was able to remember my mother with a smile rather than with pangs of sadness. A few years later, as we approached the third anniversary of my mother's death, my husband, Lincoln, and I discussed how to and I discussed how to best honor her memory that weekend. Friends had invited us to watch a basketball game on Saturday evening. Coincidentally, the game was being played in same auditorium where we had last seen my mother. Lincoln and I talked about what it would be like to go back to the place where we had seen her. just 3 years ago, on the night before she passed away. We decided it could be a wonderful way to celebrate her life. After all, my memories of her that night were very good. We had laughed, had a chance to talk about all kinds of things, and had an all-round great evening. My mother had even predicted my sister would get married to her boyfriend at the time, and a few years later that prediction came true. So, Lincoln and I returned to auditorium and we enjoyed spending time with our friends. We knew it was what my mother would have wanted. It felt nice to go back and feel okay about being there. But just as I took a sigh of relief about my progress in dealing with my mother's death, my entire life was once again turned upside down. After returning home from basketball game, Lincoln complained of back pain. He had broken several vertebrae in a car accident. Okay, complained of back pain. He had broken several vertebrae in a car accident a few years prior. So back pain wasn't unusual for him. But just a few minutes later, he collapsed. I called for okay, paramedics, and they arrived within minutes and transported him to the hospital. I called his mother and his family meet me in emergency room. I had no idea what could possibly be wrong with him. After a long minutes in the emergency room waiting area, we were called into a private room. Before the doctor even said a word, I knew that he was going to say, Lincoln has passed away. He had had a heart attack. On the same weekend that we honored the 3-year anniversary of my mother's death, I found myself a widow. It just didn't make any sense. Lincoln was only 26 and he didn't have any history of heart problems. How could he be here 1 minute and gone the next? I was still adjusting to life without my mother, and now I'd have to learn how to deal with life without Lincoln. I couldn't imagine how I would get through this. Dealing with the death of a spouse, sorry, is such a surreal experience. There were so many choices to be made at the time when I really wasn't in any shape to decide anything. Within a matter of hours, I had to start making decisions about everything from the funeral arrangements to the wording of obituary. Or maybe this, someone comes and talks about that person after his or her death. Okay, I understood about it. Deceased person. There wasn't any time to let the reality of situation really sink in. It was completely overwhelming. I was fortunate to have many people in my life who supported me. A journey through grief is an individual's process, but loving friends and family certainly helped. There were times when it seemed to, to get a little easier and times when it would get worse. Just when I think I was getting better, I turned around corner to find overwhelming sadness waiting for me. Grief is an emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausting process. So I think this is important. Grief is an emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausting process. There were so many things to feel sad about too. I felt sad for my husband's family, knowing how much they had loved me. Gone. I really don't know how to pronounce this word. Lincoln. Okay. I felt sad about all the things Lincoln would never experience, and I was sad about all the things we had never to do together. Not to mention how much I missed him. I took as much